Hey everyone, welcome to our first edition of our Kids Win podcast this year. Today we're here at Northside Elementary, and we have some students that I want to talk to. We're going to talk about our portrait of a learner. I have Miss Erin with me, Miss Ava, Miss Melanie, and Mr. Sammy to talk about being a resilient learner. Now we know that resiliency in life is such a major part of what we deal with every day. If you're not resilient and things get you down, it kind of clouds your thinking. So we want to teach resiliency to our students. We want them to understand that just because they see a problem or they encounter a problem that is a little bit difficult for them, they can work through that. They can work through that situation with their teacher, with other classmates, but they can work through that to resolve the issue or to get an answer. So resilient learning is a big piece of what we think our students need to be able to do to be successful in life. So we're excited to hear what these kids have to say this morning here at Northside.
The Kids Win Podcast.
Ava, I'm going to start with you. So we know that one of our competencies in our portrait of a learner is being a resilient learner. What does that mean to you?
I think it means you are let's just say I'm learning geometry right now. So it's just the beginning of the year and I haven't learned a lot yet, but I know I will. And it's you're going to learn so much more and you haven't learned everything yet, but you will. And I think it just means you're going to you haven't done something just yet, but you are going to.
Melanie, what about you? What do you think?
So what I think is like what she said, you're going to learn a bunch of more stuff, during the year. But, right now, since it's, 3 weeks ago, we just started school, and we just barely started learning more things.
Yeah. So, real quick, you talked about geometry.
Yes.
When you work on a project or a problem in geometry, do you just kind of do it and then you can't figure it out and you give up?
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. So
I always either if I just don't know something, I just sit and just think for a second about everything we've learned, and then I realize what it is. And sometimes it's a trick question. You know what it is, but it's asking you something a little bit different. Also, sometimes I just raise my hand and ask the teacher, and she just gives me teensy hints, and then I'm oh, this is what it is.
So those teensy hints and your ability to ask questions, that helps you become a resilient learner too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It teaches you that you can complete this. You
Yeah.
can do this, and all you have to do is just stick with it. Erin and Sammy, who wants to be first to tell me a little bit about what it means to be a resilient learner?
It means to be a resilient learner is looking at what you did well whenever you succeed and see what you did well, and if you fail, you see what you didn't do as well on, and you could use that to see what you can do different in the future. Let's say I did a project, and we did a project in math, and we had to estimate money, and so we split the money in half to count the bigger numbers. And me and my partner, because we both did the half amount of work, we did that in the future because it worked well on us. And the thing we didn't do as well on is we decided to count the smaller numbers too, and we weren't as close because we didn't have time to count the bigger numbers. So in the next time, we didn't count the smaller numbers and only the big ones. So we see what we did wrong and what we did right and use that to do what we do next time.
So you kind of used a trial and error method to come to the answer, which again makes you a resilient learner or helps you to become a resilient learner, doesn't it?
Yeah, you figure out the best way to do it.
Yeah.
You have a couple ways that you test out, and then you figure out the best way to do it, and that's your new strategy that you use.
Sure. Sammy, it's kind of like going to buy new shoes, isn't it? I might think I wear a size 12, but I get a size 12 and they don't work. They're too small. What would I do then? If the 12s are too small,
Try a different size.
try a 13, right? That makes me the trial and error process, and again, it makes me be resilient about what I need. Is there anything that you can think of, Sammy, in your classes that have helped you to become a resilient learner?
Yeah, the teacher always encourages us, and if we mess up, she gives us more chances, and we just don't give up, and we just keep trying, and then we get it right.
So the beauty of learning to be a resilient learner is positive thinking, isn't it?
Yes,
And
definitely.
the never give up attitude.
Yep.
I think you guys have found the answers. Now, as I said, we're going to talk a little bit about our Portrait of a Learner, and our podcast for the next couple of weeks will be focused on this. We've had a really great success with our Portrait of a Learner. We've developed a deeper learning team throughout the district, and with that, we have tried to have every grade level, or at least every school, represented on that deeper learning team, because we feel like it's a really good idea to pull as much experience and information as we can. We also had community members on our deeper learning team. So what we've done is we spent a year developing this plan, or this, what we call the competencies that we want to see our students graduate from Woodford County High School with. Now, we didn't call it a portrait of a graduate because we're not just focusing on graduation. We're starting at the kindergarten level and we're moving all the way through. We want our students to be resilient learners. We want our students to be reflective collaborators. And we also want them to be empathetic communicators, creative problem solvers, and responsible contributors. Now, if you'll think about all those are not just educational terms. Those are life skills that we all need to be successful. So what we're doing, we're not really changing up what we're teaching, because we're mandated to teach the state standards. But what we're doing is we're going to change our process that will allow us to teach being the resiliency, or collaboration, or being a good communicator, problem solving. We know we deal with that every day. Even as adults, we deal with problem solving. And also to be a responsible contributor. These will allow our kids to be better members of society and to be better prepared for their life after education. Guys, tell me, have you had an opportunity to talk about the Portrait of a Learner in your classes?
Yes, a little bit.
Sammy, what can you recall about some of the conversations you've had?
It shows what kind of a learner and contributor and problem solver that you should be, and how to help the school and be the best that you can be. We had an assembly that stated everything about that Portrait of a Learner. So we've got the basic idea of what we need to do.
Sure. Have you had a chance, Aaron, in any of your classes yet to maybe address some of the skills or the competencies of the Portrait of a Learner? Have you collaborated? Have you become a resilient learner? Any of those things? Can you recall?
We did start some projects that we worked together.
Mm-hmm.
Not talking about it much, but we did work together about being it.
So when you work together, you learn how to be a really good collaborator, right? That means you work together with everyone. Was there anything else? Can you tell us a little bit about a project, maybe, Sammy?
We're doing one called Saddle Up Midway. Mm-hmm. It's where we go around Midway to like the museum, and we can learn more about the history of Midway. That's what the 5th grade is doing, and all the other grade levels have different projects in Saddle Up Midway.
Sure. I noticed that one of the pieces of the project with Saddle Up Midway is about railroads. Now, how cool would that be to get to research the railroads and its history here in Midway? Because, there's the railroad track runs right through the middle of downtown Midway, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That sounds very fun. I'm pretty sure kindergarten is going to get to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. That's great. So are you guys excited about this new way of learning here in your classes, as far as getting to be hands-on and being a part of seeing what's going on in the community and involving everyone around you? You all excited about that?
Yeah, I'm more of a hands-on learner myself, so I'm pretty excited about it.
Sure, absolutely. Tell us some of the things that you have had a chance to look at or be a part of in your classes through the Portrait of a Learner.
I have learned about, like, you haven't learned anything, like, yet, but you are going to and stuff like that. Yeah, we did do it, like, an assembly about all of it, and, like, Sammy said, and we're going to do a project about it. And, yeah, I think we've learned a lot about it.
Great. Melanie, tell us a little bit about this project that we're going to do.
So what we're gonna do is like we're gonna go like around Midway and like go to this like museum that they have there, and we're gonna learn more stuff there.
Now, I've seen that museum. It's got a lot of cool stuff about Midway in it. So it's exciting to be able to get to do that and just partner with the community and go on a field trip or maybe two, maybe even have the director of the museum come and talk to you guys, those kinds of things. Do you think that'd be kind of fun?
Yeah.
Do you feel like that would give you an opportunity to learn more?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll learn so much more about, like, Midway and about, like the resilient learner thing and about other things too.
Yeah, and sometimes when we're actively participating in things and we're trial and error to learn things, like we may find out that the museum didn't just take off right off the bat. Maybe they had to try some different things to advertise it, or maybe some new setups or some new exhibits in there to get people to want to come, right?
Yeah.
So when you're doing that, as Ava just said, you're becoming a resilient learner. You're learning to be to stick to it, to do to be more committed to your work. And again, when you're actively engaged and you're committed to your work, you really learn, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You learn a lot.
Has your teacher talked to you about deeper learning? Have you heard her say anything about deeper learning?
No, but
No,
I
I
think
don't
she
think
will
so.
during the year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the beauty of these types of projects, they're called deeper learning. And again, it just gives you all these opportunities to be more actively engaged. And it brings more people into your school, and they can talk to you about the good things that are going on. So tell me what you feel like you think might be your favorite part, Melanie, about this upcoming project. What's the name of the project? Do you remember?
No, I
Ava, can
honestly
you
don't
remember the name
remember.
of the project?
Satellite,
Saddle Up Midway, right?
yeah, Saddle Up
Yeah,
Midway.
Saddle Up Midway. So that's pretty awesome. Now I do know one of the things they're talking about too. We're going to talk about or you guys will research the horse and cattle industry here around
yeah.
the town of
Yeah.
Midway. So that may be a piece of where we got that name. But we also, do you recall who we had at the assembly that day? Who had a saddle on that day?
Here, wasn't it?
Sugar Cube, maybe? Was it Sugar Cube?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Sugar Cube.
So everybody got their picture taken with Sugar Cube, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really cute, really nice too.
Yeah.
So again, before I let you go, tell me what you think. Give me a little bit of expectation about what do you think is going to be great about Saddle Up Midway.
That like we're gonna get to like learn a lot of more stuff. We're gonna get to walk, like take a little break from school and walk around.
Sure. Ava, what about you?
I think it's gonna be like you're gonna like she said, you're gonna learn so much more, and you're gonna learn about like the Woodford County portrait of a learner a lot more. And actually, I think you're gonna learn a little bit more about the Midway history and how this all like became a thing.
Sure. And that's the beauty of it, is you learn more about the history of Midway or whatever subject or topic or program that you're researching or you're participating in, right? Okay, we're here with Mr. Hundley from Northside Elementary. He's the principal here, and I was able to attend 2 weeks ago on a Friday, I think it was, a wonderful little performance here, an assembly for our students, where we highlighted our portrait of a learner. Now, I'm going to ask Mr. Hundley to kind of give us an update, the name of his project, the project that it's a community project. This is not just a project here at the school, but I'm going to turn it over to him and let him tell us a little bit about the project.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Adkins. I appreciate you having me on the podcast today. Super excited to share with you all what our project is. So it kind of started in the summer. We had a meeting with myself, Robin Taylor, my dean, and then we brought in the mayor, Stacy Thurman, and kind of had a big picture. Didn't know if it would come together. Just had a big idea of trying to figure out a way to incorporate our entire school with our community. The beauty of Midway is that we are one school in this little town, and so we were trying to find a way to help connect our community with our students. And so, after COVID, it was one of those times where we couldn't get out in the community, and so now we're turning that corner. And we wanted to try to find a way. And so graciously, Mayor Thurman agreed to partner with us for this project. And so the project goes like this. Our students each, at our assembly, we figured out that we did a little skit with our city council and figured out that our city council and many community members had lost their memories of why Midway was so great. And so Mayor Thurman asked for our help and asked for the students' help here in the building to try to find a way to restore their memories by doing a little bit of research. And so essentially each grade level is going to take on a task. For example, kindergartners are taking on the railroads and trains, and then all the way up to third grade, that is, they're going to look at museums and the history of Midway, and then all the way to fifth grade, so that we're connecting with some of our subjects that are at each grade level. They're going to look at our government and city council within Midway. And so each grade level has a task. They each are going to have 4 days throughout the the school year, where they are going to bring in speakers. They're going to go on field trips. They are going to do all sorts of research to help restore the memory of Midway. And so the final culmination of that activity is that they are going to we are going to do QR codes around the city of Midway, probably 2 per grade level, and we'll position them throughout town. The QR codes are going to be linked to a website where our students will be on videos. They'll have created probably little podcasts like this. They're also going to have a lot of pictures and information based on their research, and hopefully that'll help provide a little connection with what's happening here at Northside, but also what's happening in our community.
That's great. And I was able to attend your assembly. And Mayor Thurman and the city council was just great to come and support the school in the project. And I've always found Mayor Thurman to be very, very accommodating to our school system and just a great advocate for us and a great community partner. Now, it's beautiful that you have this very historic small town and you're the only school in it. It's all yours. Mm-hmm. And your students will get to go out and learn more about such a historic town and the role it has played in railroads and in the cattle and just everything that we had just talked about. Tell us a little bit about Mr. Hundley. You've described the project and you described the culminating project, which will be the QR codes. But tell us a little bit about everything this will entail as far as our portrait of a learner and deeper learning.
Absolutely. Great question. The idea behind this is that we want to give our kids experiences. If you remember when you were in school, you didn't remember the worksheet that you did on a Thursday. You remembered going and doing something and creating an application of your knowledge. And so when we talk about deeper learning, we want to give our kids those opportunities to become, like we talked about earlier, a resilient learner. They're going to have opportunities to do all of our competencies within our portrait of a learner. And the reason that we want to create that is that we know that when students have opportunities to experience and apply their knowledge, that they do a better job of retaining that information. And so if they're able to experience something, if we're able to create that, if we're able to just for a moment and even trick them a little bit to think that this is just a day away from school, but in reality they're learning things, and connect that to what our goal is for them to get a quality education, then I'm all for it. And so I feel like if I'm not doing that, I'm doing a disservice to our kids. So we're going to get out there and do some things.
Sure, and that's the beauty of deeper learning, is that we are actually pulling things from these students that they don't realize we're doing.
Absolutely.
I mean, they are learning through experiences. And as you said, we always remember experiences. Maybe not a worksheet, maybe not a reading piece that we've done, but we will always remember experiences. Mr. Hundley, I want to commend you on a great job. It's so exciting to see this project. I can't wait to see it just play out throughout the school year and see the excitement build around it, because you have done a great job with that, and we're very excited for Northside and the way they have addressed the Portrait of a Learner to really to help our students become better citizens, better students, and just better overall. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. I do want to invite you back throughout the year to come check us out, and so hopefully our kids enjoyed this experience. And thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you. So guys, we've had an opportunity today to talk about our Portrait of a Learner and really focus on what a resilient learner is. But remember, there are 5 competencies to our Portrait of a Learner, and we feel all 5 competencies are as important as the other, each one. What they will allow us to do, again, is to provide our students with some skills and the ability to be successful all the way through their educational career, but not just there, but in society as well. So we're excited to see how we can put our Portrait of a Learner to work this year, and not just this year, but for years to come, and how it will change the face of education in Woodford County. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Kids Win podcast, provided by Woodford County Public Schools. Join us next time as we showcase the talents of our amazing students here in Woodford County Public Schools, where kids win.